Hello everybody and welcome back to Career Mode. In this one, we've got the January transfer window, 4 games in the Bundesliga and the Champions League draw. And let's just say, the draw's being kind to us. You might remember in the previous episodes I was talking about 1-1 of Brighton or Inter Milan in the Champions League because we avoided Brighton when we were over at Inter. We hadn't faced our former club. I was talking about that fact and I wanted to kind of at least meet one of them in the knockout rounds. Well, ladies and gentlemen, it's happened. We are meeting one of our former clubs in the first knockout round, the round of 16 of the Champions League, which will be played in February. I'm not going to tell you which one of the two it is. You'll have to wait for a few more minutes to find out which one it will be. But let's just say I am excited for that game when it rolls round. The 2 games, though, off camera, you're about to see. One against Hoffenheim, one against Stuttgart. We've got Hoffenheim twice today, actually, by all accounts. Quite surprising to play the same team twice in an episode, but that's how we find ourselves with the fixture list. And this first game against Hoffenheim away, we took the lead. Our Egyptian, El Mubarak, slotting home after a nice move, put Schalke in a good position for him to fire home, and we took it after 15 minutes on the clock. We continued our early pressure with Werner picking up the ball, finding Richarlison who burst through, and it should have been 2 for the away side. Quite simply put, I don't know how on earth we didn't finish this with Richarlison, somebody that is in the goals recently, and it really should have been us 2-0 in front here. But I was getting kind of confused because the snow in the game made it quite difficult. I don't know what it was about it. It was just playing in this in the snow and such. I wasn't able to find my rhythm as much as I'd hoped. But in the end, we got 2 goals. It was Richarlison, but frustratingly for him, it came back off the defender and it went down as an own goal. You'll see why. It hits the defender, then hits his other leg, then goes in. So technically speaking, it wasn't Richarlison's shot, the reason that it went in. If it had just taken the deflection first off of him, that would have been his goal, but sadly, not the case. It did take the deflection. Ultimately, though, the game itself was very one-sided. We got the win, and it continued our unbeaten run. Hoffenheim struggled to really do anything against us, and that's been the recurring theme for a lot of sides in the Bundesliga so far. And to put it simply, we just dominated. So a 2-0 win in game 1. I was quite happy with that as well, especially getting back to the game as well on top of that, because we got 2 draws last episode, of which we didn't play well in at all. But there is the draw then, and as you can see, the results of the draw are as follows. Bayern will play Barcelona, but Brighton didn't actually make it into the knockout rounds. We will face off against Inter Milan, ladies and gentlemen. Our former side finishing 2nd in Group C behind FC Barcelona, and I was quite surprised to see that. But if we take a quick look at how they're performing in the Serie A, you will notice they're actually unbeaten in 15 league games. So not only is it us versus our former club, we are going to be taking on Inter Milan with us undefeated in the Bundesliga at this current time and them undefeated in the Serie A at this current time. We've got to wait until February, though, to play the first leg. So we'll see if both sides can hold on to their unbeaten run that long. It's going to be a couple of months or a month and a bit in the future. We've got, I think, 4 Bundesliga games between now and that game. I don't know how many Calcio A games they have got or Serie A games that Inter Milan have got, but how good would it be if not only is it us against our former club, it is unbeaten sides going at it in their respective leagues in the Champions League. Unfortunately for Inter Milan, I'm pretty sure they are not unbeaten in the Champions League. I can't remember. I think we are unbeaten in the Champions League group stage though. So yeah, in that regard, they're not. But certainly in the Serie A, they are unbeaten at this current time. So it's going to be a match of the heavyweights, guys. And I can't wait to show you it coming up in the near future. We went into game, though, against Stuttgart for the 2nd and final post-con match of this episode. They started off brightly, hitting the post after the first couple of minutes. Our first half was a write-off, putting it lightly. And we just had to try and find the form and find something. And a typical captain's goal from Weston McKennie pulls us out of the rut we were in because we did not perform very well at all in this opening 60 minutes here. But he picked up the ball on the edge of the area, smashed it in the bottom corner. And what I say by a typical captain's goal is, I mean, when you're playing badly and you need somebody to step up, it is usually your captain. Gerrard did it for Liverpool a few times in his career, and we've got Weston McKennie doing it in ours for this one. But it was a good finish, you've got to say, though, from Stuttgart's perspective. Could they have defended it a little bit better? I'm sure they'll say they could have done. As we move forward again, in a matter of minutes, separating the next chance from this one. Richarlison finding Hudson-Odoi. Hudson-Odoi's ball to Werner. Werner towards Gordson. Breaking down the left-hand side. Noah Gordson on the right foot. Finishes it in the top corner and makes it 2-0 Schalke. So in the space of 4 or 5 minutes, it went from 0-0 to 2-0 Schalke. And that is how quickly we can turn a game around. And I'm sure he is one of the players who cannot wait to go back to his old stomping ground. Was with us at Brighton. We brought him over to Inter Milan. that's where he really got going. He played a few times for Brighton when we were there, and he played a decent part, but he was more involved in Inter Milan in our quest in that one, surely. And now he's here at Schalke with us as well. I'm sure he will be excited to go back to the San Siro. For us, though, it was about seeing these points out. Grimaldo went close again. I mean, I don't know how on earth he didn't hit the target from his right-footed shot here. He's got to do better in that position, in my opinion. But at 2-0 up, 30 minutes to go, I was just looking to see the clock out and really secure the points. And that is what we did. So, two back-to-back 2-0 wins in the episode so far. It has been good for us. But how will the live portion go? We jump into the January transfer window and have 2 more games for you guys to see. Sit back, relax, and enjoy. Join me as we go to the live portion of the episode. Welcome, guys, to the live portion of today's episode. And as you guys saw, we've managed to pull ourselves into Milan. Now, I hopefully showed you how they were performing in the Serie A, but I'm going to check it again as we have played a couple of games since then to see if they remain unbeaten over in Italy. It's going to be interesting to see this, and they do. 16 games in. They've only played the 1 game since we last saw that, so at the moment they are still unbeaten, and we played them in the first knockout round of the Champions League. It could have been a more favourable draw for us, but you know what? I always say I like to play against my former club, so I won't be too worried when it comes to playing against them in that game. I'm quite looking forward to it, actually. Today, though, to continue with the episode, we face off against Gladbach. And it's quite surprising because I said this last episode, but we actually don't have a lot going on right now. We've got a fairly, quiet couple of months coming up. Gladbach here on the 20th, and then only the 2 games in January, Hoffenheim and Frankfurt. So I don't know what it is with this one, why there's such a gap between the 2 of them, but whatever's whatever. We'll continue on and hopefully end up with 3 points from this game coming up now. But I need to change around the side slightly, so I'll do that now, and then we'll jump into game. Alright, we've altered it, and we are going to jump ourselves away from home against Gladbach. We are away at Borussia Park, and you know what as well? We've got the transfer window coming up, and I have absolutely no idea what my plans are for that transfer window. Whether or not I want to bring anybody in, whether or not I want to let any players go. Might be over to you guys to decide who you want. We've seen our players for sort of 6 months now. We know who we've got, what they're capable of, what they bring to the team. Might be a case of letting you guys decide who stays, who goes. But the thing is as well, I'm going to be playing up until we lose our first Bundesliga game because I want to try and go unbeaten. And I don't feel that it's fair for me to do that by simming games that could be won, So, for the most part, I think what I will be doing as we skip through here is playing all the games until I maybe do end up losing. If I can go unbeaten for the full season, though, that would be sensational. Something I haven't done for quite a while in a full campaign of a career mode. I think the last time I did it was FIFA 17 Hartlepool days. So yeah, it's been quite a while. So it would be good to do it again. And that's the plan. Immediately, though, offside, ref. Thank you. Grimaldo, Danilo. Struggling at the moment to find a breakthrough against Gladbach, who are defending pretty well. First time, really, though, we've been in this position. So I'm not going to lie and say that we've been dominating here, because that has not been the case. Richarlison turning away. Now we'll find Danilo again. Danilo to Weston McKennie, who scored that goal in the last game. Finds El Mubarak, who spins on the shot, and he was onside as well. I thought he was offside, which is why I took it slightly early. But he actually stayed onside, and the shot came in. But sadly, it is not enough to find the back of the net. But the first chance of the game goes our way. It's taken a long time to get there, though. Not a lot happening up until that point. It's Danilo found here by McKennie. Just about protects the ball. There's not really much movement going on in front of us here. Weston McKennie now. El Mubarak will give him that, but he misplaces the pass. Poor in the end from McKennie, our captain. There goes the half-time whistle, guys. I don't really know what to say about this first half performance. It's not really been one that's had a lot of moments. If I show you the match facts, I mean, you can see it's one of them games where we're not really doing very well. And Gladbach aren't able to create because our defending is pretty strong. So I feel like both sides are kind of negating each other out here. We need someone to find the quality to change this game. And largely, I don't know where it's going to come from, because at the moment, McKennie and Danilo, these 2 centre midfielders, are just not there today. Protection of the ball has not been good enough. I mean, Danilo there takes a poor touch straight into Gladbach's player. They win it back, and then we have to smash it out of touch there from Jimenez before we can make anything happen. Jimenez, though, will win back the ball, and it's a ball up towards Werner, who, the same outcome, can't protect it. That's a free kick, ref. There's a clear... I mean, you saw the foul, right? So slow with everything we've done today. So slow. Just do not let Gladbach score a goal. That's the only thing I will say. Mina, Han's making the run. The substitute, Han, he's through on goal. Has he got the finish though? Han's effort, no he has not. 5 minutes left and he could have won the game. We've had a pretty poor game here by all accounts. There's no denying that. And I'm over here trying to work out how on earth we haven't managed to finish that move off with Han. As long as we hold on to what will be a very boring 0-0 draw for the neutral, I'll be quite happy because it keeps our unbeaten run going. The way we have played, it's asking a lot of questions of us here. Hudson-Odoi back to Frank Brown. I'm not even going to make a comment. I'm not even going to make a comment. And the fact that that's gone out for a corner, if they score this and this ends off by our unbeaten run, I'm going to be tilted beyond belief. Ball whipped in. Not challenged and Frank Brown catches. What was that? Hudson-Odoi was actually supposed to head it back to Frank Brown for him to catch. Instead plays him a simple pass and then we get caught almost because of a weird touch from Frank Brown. Richarlison carries forward. Hudson-Odoi on the right hand side. We need this final bit of quality that's going to turn this game. Callum Hudson-Odoi unable to give us it. And that should end it off here. Richarlison, last touch of the game. Shot comes in, blocked on the way through. That's it. 0-0 draw here at Borussia Park. Horrific from both sides, really. That is the only way I can describe it. I mean, if you ever needed match facts to tell a story of a game, there it is. 4 shots for Schalke, 0 on target, 2 for Mönchengladbach, 1 on target, and it was the header in the 90th minute. Up until the 90th minute, neither side had a shot on target. Wow. And the transfer window is open, ladies and gentlemen. Let's see what's going to happen. A lot of outgoings here. You can see people leaving the club, not actually sure any of them were really that important, though. At the moment, it's going to be interesting to see just how much movements happen in this window, because in January, it's not necessarily an important one unless you're having a bad season, and we're by no means having a bad season. We are top of the table, having gone unbeaten as well. But I still feel that if an offer comes up and we have to go for it, then why not, you know? Jedvaj and Gordon both at the moment wanting out of the club. Remember, we've got an offer for Mina here as well from Barcelona, which I'm not that interested in really letting him go. So I'm going to counter this and just see what they want really in terms of that one, because 40 million is a good offer, but looking at it right now, I mean, I don't need to sell and I don't need to keep. So I'd say 60 is a good enough counter for that. See what Barcelona say to it, and they're quickly shutting that one down. So yeah, not happy with that, but we'll see who else has offers coming in. My plan isn't to sell anybody, but we will see. We've just negotiated terms as well to possibly let Serdar leave the club. He hasn't played a single game for us here at Schalke, and we've accepted terms on a £26.5 million deal for him to join Napoli. Whether or not that goes through, we will wait and see. If he does leave, it's an extra 20 million quid, but what we do with that is going to be decided, because we've got a lot of money to spend. What I might do is, I might let you guys decide, and we'll just bring in one big name player for like a load of money that's going to help us, but not maybe hinder us, you know what I mean? Because for the most part, I don't really know what we need to strengthen, because I feel like we're doing pretty well already anyway. So if that deal goes through, I might just give you guys the opportunity to throw out a big name that we can go and buy. And there is confirmation then. Serdar has left the club. £22 million in our kitty. And we've got a few different things to go through as well. Weston McKennie wanted by Leicester. No chance whatsoever of that deal going through, I'm afraid. Enrique Escobar was the guy I was looking at. He's currently playing with Hannover 96. He's 21 years of age, 82 rated. And you may be thinking to yourselves, he looks like an absolute steal, which I agree with. The problem is he's only just joined Hannover, so we can't sign him. It is his first year at the club. I have already tried, so I would have been probably going for him had we been able to, but because we can't, I genuinely don't know what to do. And we've got a lot of money as well, may I add, because we've got £77 million. Plus a lot of money in the wages. You know what I mean? Like, look at this. 86 million plus 300 grand. It's just mind-blowing. 86 million pound, and we don't even know what we should do with that money. It's pretty crazy when you consider what we have available to us. And we've got another offer. It's for Santi Mina again. Well, again, I'm not really that bothered, but I counter-offered for 60, didn't I, last time? So I'm going to counter 55 this time. And the reason for that is because if this deal goes through, what will happen is you guys will have a lot of money to decide who joins us again. 52 million this time then, if you don't want to take 55. 52. Seems like Mina might be on his way here. £52 million agreed with Manchester City. We'll see if he agrees terms. If he does, that's going to leave us something crazy like £140 million to spend. We could literally afford anybody in the world of football. And to make matters thingy as well, Mbappe has just won Player of the Year in this game. So he is the current World Player of the Year of 2023-2024. So, well, 2023 it would have been, wouldn't it? So we could go for him if that goes through. We could go for a lot of players actually, so I'm not even going to try and list who we could buy. But all I know is that you guys are going to have the decision to make, and whatever goes through will go through. So let's see if that Mina deal does happen, though. If not, still got a lot of money for you guys to decide, and we're probably going to play Hoffenheim in a few seconds' time. Mina has sold, so Mina's gone through. Mina has left the club, and that now leaves us then, ladies and gentlemen, with £132 million to spend, and we can literally afford anybody we want at this stage. The question is, who do we get? Actually, looking at Mbappe, I'm not sure we can get him. He is 127 million. So we'd have to offer somewhere in that region. Again, though, do we just go out and try and do it or what? Dybala springs to my mind as well. I really like Dybala. I think he's a good player. You can see he's 94 rated, 30 years of age, similar rating to that of Kylian Mbappe, probably a better player, and he's a cam as well, one of the positions we wanted to strengthen. So he could be the man we go for. I don't know at this stage. I really don't know. So I'm going to play the game against Hoffenheim and then let you guys decide on who you want to see join us at the club. And we're ready then, but it's the same side that showcased themselves before we had this break against Gladbach where we were poor. I'm hoping we're not going to be poor today. I mean, this isn't even the worry right now. The thing that we got to be focused on is the fact that we have so much money to spend and no real target to go for. So we've sold Mina in that deal. So he played like a cam/striker role for us. So I feel that if we had to do that, we probably need to bring in a cam or striker. But what it does mean is, if we do make that happen, Saigankov could be losing his place in the side. If it's a big name player, so too could Werner. You know, it depends on what we do, who we go for, and all that sort of thing. So, yeah. So, in many ways now as well, Saigankov and Werner playing for their careers at this stage. Frank Brown comes out. Didn't know a lot about it. And start goes up. And all of a sudden, it could have been Schalke 1 down. Which would have been a horrific start to this game. Unbeaten run could have been ended there and then. Well, not ended there and then. But it could have been on the line there and then, as we found El Mubarak here in a good position for him to try and put the cross in towards Werner. Oh, and Dimitrovic has saved it. Like I said, playing for their spots in the side, Werner and Saigankov, and my goodness me, Werner could have given us the lead there. Straight after we could have been 1 down. Corner whipped in by El Mubarak, straight to the head of McKennie. El Mubarak with a body feint to try and get him into a good position to maybe hit the shot. McKennie picks up the ball. Imagine the scenes if Werner would have scored there. It would have been a great start, wouldn't it? Here is Werner to El Mubarak. El Mubarak in now. On this side, Werner again. Saigankov makes the run again. Saigankov found and he fires wide at that bottom corner. The two players we were talking about just before kickoff combine. And unfortunately, it is not Schalke 1-0 in front yet. But it's a nice move. We just need to find this finish. Stroke of half-time. Werner to Saigankov. Saigankov now to Danilo. Danilo to Richarlison. This is the moment we're waiting for. One-on-one with the goalkeeper. Richarlison doesn't usually miss these. And he will not this time either. Schalke 1, Hoffenheim 0 after just enough time left in the half to secure the goal. We played them earlier on in the episode as well, off camera, and we did very well in that game. And now it's Richarlison who scored the opening goal. But again here, in terms of performance, we've lacked a lot of conviction. And I feel like we're going into sort of the period of time where we have to get out of these games getting results. This is the area where, if we're going to throw it away, it's going to be here. But Richarlison scores, and we can settle down slightly now. We know we've got Inter to come next month as well, and they are currently still unbeaten in the Serie A, our former club. 8th in the season for Richarlison, and that's going to calm the nerves a little bit. Second half on the way. Werner trying to play the ball over the top to El Mubarak. Gets a bit lucky to still have it, but the Egyptian is very quick to hit the shot, which has tested the palms of the Hoffenheim goalkeeper. El Mubarak will swing the corner in as well, up towards Jimenez. He gets up well, but unable to actually get the ball as Stark steps in And somehow we haven't come away with that. Stark once, Stark twice. Richarlison now, that's going to be a yellow card for Richarlison, I think. I mean, Stark made 2 very good tackles and still didn't actually get the ball. And there's a third one from him, and he still hasn't got the ball. He's gone out for a throw-in. Oh, my days. I don't know how Stark hasn't ended up with a ball at his feet there. That's 3 incredible tackles. And Richarlison booked in the process as well for the foul in that part of that one. But so unlucky for Stark. Kenny, Danilo, Grimaldo, this is nice. Grimaldo back to Richarlison, continues as well, finds him back here. Grimaldo to finish, and it's a brilliant stop again from Dimitrovic. I mean, to be fair to Grimaldo, he doesn't really get in these positions often, and it is a very, very good save. But it's the time he had. Should he have been doing better with it? I don't know. It's just frustrating because we're wasting so many good chances here. And that's an understatement. El Mubarak to win it back with a header. Now Saigankov. We crafted that chance as well too, Grimaldo, really well. El Mubarak continues, puts the cross in. Werner just behind him. Stark will pick up the loose ball though and find Danilo, who plays McKennie. McKennie to Saigankov. Saigankov now. Richarlison injured under a challenge somewhere. Not sure where it was. But he has picked up a knock, so we have to keep tabs on that. Saigankov towards El Mubarak. Never caught the shot correct, did he? Never quite caught the shot. And following that, both wingers are to be changed. Gordson coming on. Hudson-Odoi coming on. Richarlison with the injury forced off. And El Mubarak coming off as well because he looked a little bit like he'd run out of steam in the tank a little bit. So, thought about the change. We've got 2 pacey wingers now on. Both of them should be okay to go as well. Werner going to try and find Hudson-Odoi. Offside flag raised though on the other side. Alberto Moreno puts it into touch. Saigankov going to be the final change of the game for us. In fact, no, we won't do it. We'll leave out there. Gorson's delivery up towards the middle. Dimitrovic punches. Had a good game, actually, the Hoffenheim keeper. Hudson-Odoi getting towards the box. Couple of step overs now, trying to put the cross back in. There it is. Saigankov will finish. And we have our second, just as we were going to take him off. He has his say on the game. Schalke 2, Hoffenheim 0, 3 minutes left. And I was going to say, just as we ended this game off, about the potential incoming of somebody with all that money we've got, that both Werner and Saigankov have largely not done anything all game. Well, Saigankov has had his say on the match, and he will get the second that secures our 3 points. Not the cleanest finish in the world, but it doesn't matter how you score it. It matters that it goes in. Any moment now, that should be it. The referee should bring it. There we go, 2-0. Good performance in the end, because I tell you what, bouncing back from that game against Gladbach where we were poor, we had to do it today. And we didn't start off very well, but we got the goals that mattered. And we take the victory away from this game. And all I can say is that Saigankov definitely had it. I mean, the match facts just, I don't really know, to be honest. It seemed like I struggled a lot more than they suggested. I'm not going to lie. They seemed quite one-sided, but that didn't feel so one-sided to play. Nevertheless, we get the win. And now it's over to you guys, because we have a lot of money to spend. The question is, what do we do with it? £132 million, in fact, is what we have to spend. At the moment, I don't know who is really very good in the world of football in this series right now, because we are so far into it. I'm going to put world class, and then I think I'm also going to search for 25 and below players, because that might give us some players who are game generated, you know, like the players that don't exist IRL but are in my save that we could potentially go for before I end the episode off. So maybe you guys get like an input to see what we've got in terms of that one. For the most part though, our possibilities are endless. We can go for literally anybody that you guys want to see in the series, so we don't have to limit ourselves or anything like that. And Mina, of course, part of that sale is giving the money. Fair enough. To be fair as well, there's quite a few of our former players popping up when you take a look at like the world-class under 25-year-olds. Fair few of our former players popping up. We got Arp as well, who used to play for us at Brighton. This guy looks really good, but the problem is he's 6 foot, and I don't like my defenders being small. But it works out with Darfel in the Road to Glory, so maybe we could. Not sure with that one, though. Dodo, Alban Lafont. There's a lot of players we could go for. It's about who you guys want to see, though. Who do you want to see join us here at Schalke that's going to... Are you joking me? Sergi Gomez has a release clause of £3 million. Well, that's going to have to get activated. If I don't do that, that's absolutely balmy. 3.7 million. That is ridiculous. Wow. We got Cliver. He's got a release clause as well. As we go down, Christian Pulisic, formerly of us at Inter Milan, still there now. Mason Mount at Chelsea still. Tonali still at Inter Milan. Phil Foden now at Napoli. We had him at Brighton, remember. He's now playing at Napoli. Ezekiel Barco's left Inter Milan and gone to Liverpool. Wow. That's a big miss for them. De Ligt still at Inter Milan as well. Hakimi is now Milan. We've got Aouar. We've got Mbappe, as I said, still only 25. Rafael. Anybody else really worth looking at? I mean, there's one guy down here I know for sure. Peter Robinson, 85 rated, now still at Inter. Ricky, with no release clause. Usually has one sometimes. Kai Havertz. I forgot about Kai Havertz. I really did forget about him. Not bad. Jadon Sancho as well. Another one that looks good. I mean, the possibilities are endless. I'm going to leave it up to you guys, though. One thing I will be doing between now and then, though, is activating that release clause of Sergio Gomez. Might do it at the beginning of next episode or something along those lines. If you want to see him join the club, let me know with a comment down below. But guys, that is going to be the end for today's episode. If you have enjoyed it, a like would be greatly appreciated. As always, thank you for your continued support on the channel. Really appreciate that as well. If you are new around here, like what you see, hit that subscribe button. We upload every single day at 4 PM. To never miss an upload, click the notification bell as well alongside it, and you will be notified whenever new videos go live, whatever device that you guys use. Leave your comments down below for who you want to see join us here at Schalke. I will check them out and get you guys the next episode of this series in the next couple of days. So make sure to leave your comment now so that I don't miss it and I don't record the episode until after you've left your comment, because that will be a bit of annoyance, wouldn't it? So until next time, guys, thank you all so much, and I'll catch you all again soon. Adios.